CMC, for the people, by the people, and to the people. Citizens Movement for Change. Oh yes, a new day has come. Yes, a new day has come. Rise up, Liberia. CMC, for the people. CMC, by the people. Let us join our hands together to build a better life. CMC, CMC, for the people. CMC, by the people. Let us join our hands together to build a better life. Equity, national unity, transparency, accountability, social justice, integrity, CMC core values, CMC global. It is a new day for Liberia. It is a new day for the people. Let's all together. Let's all together. It's a unity. Raise up a hand. CMC. The land of liberty, the land of freedom, the love of liberty brought us together. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, CMC, for the people. CMC, by the people. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, CMC, for the people. CMC, by the people. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, yes, 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 the time has come.
Okay, so it is another good day to be back here with all of you. A great time, and from our end, it's late evening. We're running almost midnight now here in Liberia, and let me welcome all of our listeners and viewers following us from your very location. I know there is a serious time difference. For our folks in the US and other parts of the world joining us, we also want to say welcome. We are happy to be back here with you tonight and today, this afternoon, this evening, depending on your time. For those of you joining us via radio, we also want to wish you a pleasant time. It promises to be a very rewarding night tonight with our team of panelists. I'm sure the rest of the team members will be joining the set as soon as possible. Already here is Dr. Vlude, and we hope that the rest of our crew members will join us because it's going to be a very good discussing point tonight for all of you. So share the show, invite a friend, and tell a friend to invite another friend, and together we will get it going. There's a lot taking place in our country and taking place around the world. And every time we come on this platform, we try to digest all of the latest discussion, the major talking points, those issues that are of interest to us as a country. And specifically, we dive into the Citizens Movement for Change, the CMC. We talk around development, around the party, the workings of the political leader, and then we move on to other national discussions. So while you are here with us this time of the night, we are happy to have all of you joining us. And we are also happy for those of you that are sharing our show tonight. We want to say thank you for doing just what you love to do for us on this platform. Let me welcome Dr. Jan Vulule, who's here tonight. Dan, let me say a pleasant good time to you, and it's good to see you. How is the day going at your end? And how's everything?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Toby. My day is going pretty good. I just got out of conference and it's been a very productive day here, learning a lot and networking a lot, and so I'm looking forward to the discussion tonight.
Yeah, so we expect the rest of our team to join us, except for Dr. Richardson, who has added on said she would not be on the show tonight, but we expect Vic to be here. We expect Massa to be here. We also expect Mr. Nambi to be joining us. So it's always good to have the team in full. Let me take some time since we are waiting our other members. We'll start our discussion shortly. Let me say good evening to Binta Ability. Binta is following us. She said good morning to my CMC family. Love and prayer for us. Binta, we hope you are doing pretty well. G. Harrison Duole, I hope I got your name right. Says I'm following from Boca Town, district. Is that district 1? Bokestown. Okay, I'm sure it's Bokestown, District 1, Grand Bassa County. And let me also recognize Otis and Yuma, who is following us. And he said he is a full member of the Citizens Movement for Change. Thanks to all of you. Another person joining us is Jonathan Terran Toby. He says here, political Messi. I'm from Tinker Village, Robertsfield Highway. Jonathan is following us. Thanks for joining in on the show as well. Let's keep sharing the show and let's make sure we can reach out to as many Liberians in and out of Liberia who are of interest into our discussion. Let me first of all run around our usual talking point, starting from home as usual. We are aware that the CMC political leader, Mr. Musa Hassan Bility, is still making some rounds in the Liberian political space. His tough talking ideas seem to be resonating with the Liberian people. At the House of Representatives, where he served as representative of the people of District Number 7 in Nima County. His representation seemed to be noticed because he's been one representative who's always been engaging members of the House of Representatives on all of the trending national issues. And it's always good to recognize his effort. It's always good to acknowledge those things that he's always talking about. And it's always a great pleasure having his representation felt. It is not possible to neglect the district that made him representative, and it is not possible to and to not notice, his workings within the Liberian geopolitics. So it's becoming glaring by the day that the CMC political leader and District 7 representative, Mr. Musa Belity, is becoming a very tough talking political actor in the Liberian political space. His projects, his engagement in communities, to include those of the projects in Nima, the ones in Maigibi, the one in Bonn, and other parts of the country, seem to be appreciated. And the new drive in the politics of our country is setting the stage for many Liberian politicians to now begin to notice the difference of giving individual power, not only when they are president, or for those who are opting to be leaders of our country. They should now start to work in the interest of the Liberian people while they are yet to be given the authority to serve the people. Let me welcome Honorable Musa Development Benedict Pekin. He says here, thanks to the team for the job well done. Orita Jones is watching. She said, good evening. I'm watching from Secretary Nima County. Ernest Atope is also watching from the United States okay, he said the United States of Painesville. Okay, so that let me bring you in and let me have your opening comments, specifically on the workings of the CMC political leader. I'm sure you followed, you observed, you've been following his points of contention, his issue being raised in his space as a representative of the people of District 7 in Nima, and also following his work in the country, the new introduction in the politics of our country that now speak more about development, engaging the people and allowing people to get to know your worth before they give you their trust is a new phenomenon in the political setting of our country. I'm sure you follow, and as a member of this movement, what are your thoughts?
Thank you, Mr. Tobe. Honorable Belete have changed the trajectory of our politics, and he has set the stage that Liberians will start seeing a little bit of result from their various leaders because of the path that the CMC and his honorable political leader Belete is taking. You see, our lawmakers today, there are a lot of younger folks in the legislature today in Liberia. Seeing a lot of younger folks in the legislature, we thought things were coming to be different. But this legislature is like a graveyard where majority of the people follow the executive commands. Whatever the executive says, it stands with them because they're getting little padam from the executive to pass everything or to side with everything they do or say. Honorable Belete is the only person that championing the advocacy of the people in the House, rather few people that believe in his ideology to stand with him to shed light on some of the problems that we are facing today in the country. You saw that recently, just yesterday, when the 14 districts the inclusion of the 14 districts was passed yesterday on a mobility stood tall. And not just that, in other, trending issues in the country, he always the first to come out with a, pressing statement in the interest of the people, not in his interest. And the CMC is not just a political party. In my own opinion, the CMC have become an idea for Liberians. So I want to say we are on the right path, holding government feet to fire so that our people can yield results of some of the resources that is meant for their own upbringings and the benefits of the ordinary masses. So Honorable Benete is on the right path. He's on the right path. Today is saddening my heart. I think because of the CMC and Honorable Benete, the money, the aid that the people are celebrating today, I think because of honorability and the CMC, Liberian will yield a little bit of result out of those, little aid and the that are coming in from MCC and the American government and whatever that we're going to be talking about today. The CMC is the only political party in the country right now that is standing up for the people against the government, against the mistreatment from the government. The CMC is the only political party. So the CMC, Liberian people should look the way of the CMC. We should not do politics as usual. We should bring in people that stand up for you from the beginning to the end. Not just 2 years to election, then they come to you with peanuts and beg you for your vote. When you give them the vote, they turn their back on you. So I think honorability and the CMC are doing good. We are on the right path, and we'll continue to speak to the minds and hearts of our people to continue to look the way of CMC and continue to shed light on some of the dark places in government that government not want the ordinary people to know about. The CMC will continue to share light on those places. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I think you said it right. As a political institution, the CMC will continue to share light, at the dark spots in the country. People of Liberia now look the way of the CMC because the CMC stand as the lone voice currently in the opposition that is checkmating government, that is raising issues relating to development in the country, that is concerned about the issues being carried out by the government of the day. And as a political institution, we are not just responding to the unnecessary talks, but we are raising issues that are concerned to be genuine issue in the interest of the Liberian people. Those things that Liberians expect opposition political actors to talk about, to ask the government questions about, that opposition in time past, has been afraid to talk about the issues that the CMC and its political leader are raising. So let's begin with what was been tabled on last night. During our presentation, you talk about it briefly in passing. The House of Representatives voted a few days ago to increase the total number of seats at the House of Representatives to 87. That is the rule they have agreed to pass on by adding 14 new districts pending the concurrence of the House, the concurrence of the Liberian Senate. Again, this proposed passage seemed to be the current talking point in the country since this news broke out of the House of Representatives. Liberians have been giving diverse views. Some seem to be in support, others seem to not be in support. There have been questions and there have been references as to constitutionality of the passage and what backed the passage and why 14 additional districts. So we've been reading different lines and different points from different actors in our politics in the country. Today, in the talking point, except for Honorable J. Fonati Kofa, the former speaker, but representative of Grand Crew County, have raised some constitutional questions backed by Musarado County Senator Abraham Darius DeLong. So there have been some very strong voices coming out speaking against the proposed passage or the passage and the adding of 14 additional seats. Some Liberians think that it is not timely. The country itself that is celebrating donor funding, the country that is celebrating aid in this 21st century, with all of the resources, this country has. We are celebrating, other people contribution to our budget. We are struggling in meeting the needs of our people in every sector, our towns and villages, people that are living below the poverty line, people not above but below the belt. So it is difficult to see the rationale of adding additional 14 districts. With the current configuration, with Bond County expected 2 seats, Grand Bassa, I'm told, should be 2 seats, Grand Cape County, 1 seat, Loford County, 2 seats, Maigibi County, 1 seat, Mosserado County, 4 additional seats, and Lima County, 2 seats, totaling 14 additional seats. Even the space at the Capitol building, I'm not sure will contain additional seats. The census conducted a few years back did not call for the allocation of additional seats. So it's a big conversation. Everyone seems to be having their say in this conversation. We could not digest this conversation last night, and we thought we could make it our first talking point today. And so let me bring to the Dr. Vlude. You talk about it briefly, but this seems to be a controversial conversation, even though it has been passed, but now it's been challenged, not just by ordinary Liberians, but equally by members of the House of Representatives. Now some senators are adding their voices, and seem to me it's going to be a long haul, and I'm thinking, how are we going to sustain this?
That's a good question. How we're going to sustain this? You rightly said it, Mr. Toby. A country that suffering from dependency syndrome, that's still suffering from that dependency syndrome. A country that depends solely on the survival, the survival of the country depends solely on the Western world. When other countries don't stretch their hand, the country don't move forward. They're adding 14 extra districts. That means 14 representatives will be added, and those 14 representatives will be coming with staff serving in their various offices. I think I saw something I saw some analysis from somebody on Facebook, You know, it said here, 14 new representative salaries alone will cost $1.4 million per year for the 14 representatives that will be that are about to be added. Their staff salary will go up to $1.1 million, 1 some more million dollars, a total of $2.5 million per annum for the just from the offices of the 14 or representatives, just on salary. And today we're celebrating 100 and what or some more $1 million. Out of that 100 and some more $1 million, including it is some more representative salary, excluding taking it is some more representative salary from the 100 and some more $1 million that we're celebrating today as an aid coming from America. You know, it is very sad that representative, that people that we elected to, we send them to the Capitol Hill to represent us. People that we send them for them to be the eyes for us. People that we elected them for them to be for them to represent our interests. They are now in the House representing the interests of themselves and their family member. And today we are celebrating aid. It's an achievement. And we are all in the streets celebrating it. Government, other people, taxpayer money from other countries, we are celebrating it. And we have abundance of resources in our country, but we cannot point at any tangible things that we can get out of those resources. But when the money comes from other taxpayers from outside world, from the outside world, it goes to those in the pockets of those so-called lawmakers and leaders of the country in their pocket, and nothing that we can point at. From 1847 to this time, AIDS have been coming to the country. There is no stable drinking water in the country. There is no safe drinking water for our people in the country. We've been celebrating AIDS from 1847 to today. There's no safe drinking water. There is no stable electricity in the technology age. There is no stable internet in our country. You know, there is no road connectivity. It's sad. And people that we send for them to represent our interests, they're adding more seats for their own interests, because some of them know that where they're sitting today, the district they are today, they can't stand being re-elected. So they're adding seats. Probably some of them are going to run to the new districts to go and run there. So it's sad. And like that, this is where Liberian people now need to stand up to those lawmakers and tell them that enough is enough. This should not happen in the country where parents, when they break, they don't have any idea if they're going to, put food on their children, on their family table, where parents cannot afford school fees, where parents, when they go sell in the market, there is no hope of people buying from them in this time and day and people are celebrating it, and they are adding more districts so they can put money in their pocket, and their children will be sent abroad, while the ordinary people children were still in the country. There is no drinking water for them to drink. There is no road. There is no electricity for them to study on. Nothing of the kind. This is the country we find ourselves. And our so-called brothers and sisters who are in LU, who are graduating with degrees from LU, these are the people that are on radio station backing those people up and aiding and bedding them to continue to rot our people. So we are appealing to our brothers and sisters out there to stand up against the particular bill that was passed.
Thank you for making your opening comments on that subject matter. Let me welcome Vic, Victoria, Vicky, uh, uh, Sandolo Zulu, and of course, Mr. Nambe has also joined us tonight as promised. It's good to see you, Mr. Nambe. And then we start with Vic. Vic, how is the day going? Good to see you. Why are you not smiling upon your arrival?
Because I was listening.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how is the end?
My end is good. My end is good. We all just kind of concerned and worry about Liberia. Sometimes when you think about it, it's just frustrating. You don't feel the smarting. The situation is getting worse and worse. Yeah. But my end is good. Everybody's doing fine.
All
Plenty
right.
going on. We're doing good. Thank you for
Good,
asking.
good to know that. Mr. Nangme, how are you today?
Hey, Mr. Toby, I'm doing
Yeah.
well. I hope you're doing well too, but it's good to be with you guys. Let me thank Dr. V also for coming to hang out with you. I was somewhere else listening in. I was enjoying you guys, and I said, you know what? I think I should go on and join my colleagues. So I'm glad to be here, Vic. It's good to have you here as well.
Thank you.
Okay. So while you were listening, I'm sure you got uh you were following exactly like you rightly said. So we started on this big discussion in the country. I'm sure on all the platform right now, people are trying to analyze as to why a country like ours that are still celebrating handouts with all of the resources God has given us as a country that is not properly managed, that is celebrating aid and celebrating donor funding, celebrating taxpayers from other countries money into our economy. What are we now contemplating on putting more burden on an already, you know, budget that is difficult to raise with what we saw being exhibited by the House of Representatives that has now become a controversial conversation. Some members see it in the wrong way. Others think that there is no need, even the censor that should be supporting, the allocation of additional seat uh, says nothing about it. But few lawmakers think that it is time to have additional seat while we are still complaining about the workings of the current cream of lawmakers. Liberians are not even feeding their representation, but they are telling us we should allocate more districts, bring in more representatives to come with access baggage, additional workforce, no office space. As lawmakers, the country will need to find place for them to sit. Um, it is difficult to even speak about it. Vic, you went to bed on this and you've gotten up, you read different outlets, you heard different comments. But let me hear your take on this conversation tonight.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tubi. Again, it is sad. We usually talk about timing. And once people complain about timing, timing also has to do with when people are not prioritizing right. So whether this was in session or people have petition for it before, looking at the current situation in Liberia, the economic system, what is going on, considering inflation, why this time? Why this time? They could keep that conversation or they could keep that bill passing for another time. At this time, we are talking about cutting down costs. And then you're increasing expenditure because those are expenditure. You don't have a revenue. Like last night, you broke a news here that the Swedish company was leaving, Yusuf is leaving or left, and then this time around you want to add extra district to counties. The extra district, these lawmakers are going to get paid. How are you talking about cutting down lawmakers? First, let's understand, agree that it has to go across the board, even with the executive, with ministerial offices and everything. It got to go across the board. It got to cover everywhere. But it started with lawmakers' salary. the conversation started with cutting the conversation on cutting down costs or reducing salary. It started with lawmakers' salary because they take more. And then within that same range or that same area, you want to increase lawmakers. How does it make sense? We always talk about timing. If the government ready washing, I did ready prioritizing, right? This is the time you should increase. This is the time you should increase district. These districts are going to have representatives. And then you're going to be on the government. More salary. So how you talking about people complaining about cutting down on representative salary and you increase within the same time? Again, timing, increasing district. The people do not care about what the Liberian people are complaining about. They don't care. They are not listening. If they are listening, they will not pause that for another time. But Liberian people cannot be complaining that the horse is taking so much money from the resources. And then you're increasing district. How does that make sense? How is that strategic? So I don't know. We keep talking, but I don't see sense with that. Liberian people are suffering because they're not getting anything. They're talking about bread and butter issue on ground, and then we're increasing district. Is that achievement? Is that improvement anywhere? Is it something that will help the Liberian people resources or get something? So it's just something that will affect the whole of Liberia positively. They are not paying attention to that, and it hurts. It's really bad. It's getting bad. The market women are complaining about the market. Tina selling very hard, and then we increasing district. How is that going to change or substitute what the people are complaining about right now? How is it going to improve anything? It could in future in other areas, but right now, I think it's a bad timing. Thank you.
The issue is about the timing, which you seem to not be in support of. It is not a necessary quest in terms of the timing. But Mr. Nangbe, just so that you know that if we allow this to pass and the Liberian Senate concur, which I think is going to be a difficult thing because I listened today to a write out supported by Senator DeLon and that of former Speaker Fonati Kofa that they are ready to fight against this. But let's see how long they intend to go about with this fight and how they will get supported. But just for a little information, the 14 seats or the 14 new representatives, the salary is over $1 million plus. It should be somewhere around $1,439,627 just with the current stats, according to what they are currently making. Because currently there is not a cap, so randomly what they are making, if you calculate that, we are talking about $1,439,627 just for the lawmakers alone. They come with a staff, they come with a support staff. That support staff, the salaries and everything that they will also have, because there's a threshold in terms of numbers that they also need to put in their respective offices. Their salary is hovering around another $1,067,860. So we're talking something around $2.5 million a year, additional $2.5 million per annum. That is what we are talking. That's the money we need to find to accommodate the 14 additional lawmakers along with their staffers. If you check in our country, statistic-wise, we're having issue with teachers in our country. We're having issue with our health workers in the country. So if $500 per month for teachers or for whatever way it is, then of course, this amount of money that we intend to give the lawmakers that we just argue, that doesn't go back to the respective districts until there seem to be one election coming up. The work are not visible. All it does is pass around the capital and drive around Monrovia and use the resources of our country without any genuine productivity. How you think the country itself can sustain this idea that this is not a necessary call, even from the lawmakers that are supporting and lawmakers that are against this? Do we not have the space? The Capitol building, we have to build an annex. The Chinese have to give us an annex when the number got increased to the current number of lawmakers. Currently, that entire compound carry 103 plus the Senate and that of the House of Representatives. 14 more seats, 14 more offices, 14 vehicles, additional gas slip. What are we giving God headache as a country?
Yeah, I mean, it is a shocker that and this is where I totally disagree with my young fellows, especially at University of Liberia, the ones who will go and besiege the office of the president and try to kidnap her. Well, this is where they're supposed to come out and express their rightful indignation. I am shocked that up to now they've said nothing about this. Look, for months, the University of Liberia was looking for $500,000. Now you're talking about $2.5 million that these thieves want to squander again. The university was looking for just $500,000 to give that university a facelift. I mean, look at the place they go for learning. The place is leaking. There's no chairs. It's mold infested. You understand me? Even the Palava hut they're standing under, they may not know. It could be more infested. I think this is where they need to rise up and conscientize the people like they're supposed to do, sensitize them, and let people reject this. But you're right. I think Dillon is on record. I believe Senator Abachi has declared this bill dead on arrival. I hope the coalition of the willing will continue to grow. You understand me? We don't need any more 14 additional do nothing, grab and go lawmakers. If they make any laws at that, what is the reliance for creating these seats? We're still looking in the numbers. What is the rubric they're using to create these seats? How do they decide not to give Sino or Maryland a seat? We need to understand the metric they're using. Is it because the CDC is more popular in the southeast and they're trying to prop up Moe in Bong? That's why they're giving Moe more seats. Are they giving Nuque additional seats to prop him up? We need to dig into these numbers. What is it? What is it used? What metric are they using to carve up these seats? Here, before the redistricting is done, they lay out a metric. You understand how the seats are being awarded. The legislature, are supposed to declare the threshold. Where is the threshold? What threshold are they using to create these seats? The 20,000 they're using is not constitutional. It was a special arrangement. They were supposed to fix that. They haven't fixed that yet. They are only supposed to set a threshold for the creation of seats and leave that to the Elections Commission. That's not their job. They don't get to create seats. They don't. And our people need to rise up and let these people know. These people are law unto themselves. They're supposed to be making laws, but they're making no laws. They just get and normalize illegality. Well, I guess because they can remove the speaker and be supported by the executive. And so they feel it is within their purview to do whatever, whenever they want to do it. And I have to give the CMC credit. This is one of the things that drew some of us, because the CMC, to me, represents that fire in the belly that brought me to join the United People's Party of Gabriel Bacchus Matthews. Somebody has to stand in a town square and tell these people enough is enough already. Somebody has to tell them. And the CMC is doing that. Already we have a statement out against this attempt to illegally dole out our money from our national coffers again, and we will not stand for it. And I'm calling our people. They need to stand up. They need to stand up. It doesn't matter whether you support UP. What is right, and what is wrong is wrong. We don't need any more burden. We should be going the other way, trying to shrink our budget, payroll. We shouldn't be adding to it. I think this is wrong. And I'm glad the CMC is out on it and will continue to mount the pressure. We will force the issue. That is not going to happen.
Okay, thank you. It is not going to happen. Again, we started hearing some lawmakers who have said they they abstained. That means they did not vote for it, but there's no record. Should we now start to ask, where is the record? Can we get to know how did it get passed, and who voted for it? Because it seemed to me that some of the lawmakers had no idea, and again, because there is a regime speaker and there is a regime deputy speaker, and so they're taking onto their own authority to allow these very crucial instrument pass without the knowledge of some of their colleagues in the House of Representatives. But is it possible in our advocacy, speaking against this additional 14 seats, to know on record as to who voted and who abstained from the process? Because at this point, everyone wants to show clean face, and they're saying that, okay, I did not vote, I'm not a part of it, but there's no record to show how did the voting process, took place, and how did it get passed. Vacating is necessary that we get to know, because this now talk about accountability for us to hold our lawmakers accountable and not to shift the blame on all of them. It's good for us to know how did this bill pass and how is it being sent to the Liberian Senate for concurrence. There are a lot of denial around. If it did not vote, then how did it get passed?
Yeah, that is quite correct. I think it's something that we need to know. And needing to know something is one thing, but what are they going to give for the information is another thing. There's a project going on right now in FOIA that the Liberian people need the right to know who is for or who is undertaking the project. And up to now, there has been nothing, no response about it. They need to know that who voted and who esteemed is something that we need to know. But is it going to happen? So we can just make it part of our advocacy. We can make it part of our claim. We can request for it. We can demand for it, because we need to know who are esteemed and who voted on it. It's something that we need to know, because they're saying that's what happened. So there should be some kind of accountability on that. So yes, we need to know, and it should be part of, we should demand for it. We should petition to know. Thank you.
Mr. Dangbe, you think it is going to be a good fight to know the vote of account, to know exactly those who affix the signature, to the passage of this document? Because at this stage, with the public backlashes coming out, lawmakers are now playing clean hands. I've seen a lawmaker from District 3 in the Mosorado Sport Mobile, distance is set from that conversation. Ta Wongbe and other lawmakers seem to have no idea. Would that be a justifiable defense or a genuine conversation? At this stage, for us as the seven, of the people, to let us know how did it vote and how did it get passed, why and how did it get sent to the Liberian Senate for concurrence? It is going to be a logical argument.
I think it will help to make the case that the passage of this bill was not transparent. It will help also, and I have to commend Austin Taylor. He represents my part of Maryland County, where I'm from, Barobo, and I congratulate him. He did not only not vote, but he went out. He went to the press and expressed his opposition to this bill. I think those who are saying they didn't vote, I think that you also, go to the press and make their positions known that they do not support this bill. Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Toby. It will help if they can make the record public. What record are they using? Those are the questions we are asking. What is their reliance on sending this bill to the Senate? If the bill did not go through the appropriate process, they should have a quorum. They should have the minutes. They should have the votes taken. All of those will constitute a legal bill. If any of those is not done, that bill is not legal. And so, yes, if these lawmakers are coming out and dissociating themselves from this bill, the onus is on them to prove that, yes, they have the vote of these people. Let them display the votes. I don't think they do. And so this is helpful too. But yes, I will urge these fellows who are saying they did not support this bill. I think they should also go to the press and make it known that they are not on board with this illegal process. This is a shame. It's a travesty. And these fools in the House, with all respect and disrespect intended, all pun intended, they think we're stupid. They just come and tie cloth on our eyes and just do whatever they wish. The money they're spending doesn't belong to them. Some of these people have never worked in their life. They've never worked. All they've done is to go in the legislature and steal all day, cook up ways to steal our money. Enough is enough. We're not going to have this. It is not going to stand. They need to stand down.
So, Vic, with a regime speaker, and now we've seen the role they play, right? There is a deputy speaker that is partly a regime deputy speaker, and they seem to be manipulating a lot of different things. The laws on the books seem to be, we've seen that in several different instances. There is a case ongoing now at the court on the way the former speaker were being removed. All of the legality were being because some group of lawmakers think they are in the majority. So they no longer confront to the laws of the country. Even constitutional issues are being trashed and is being done the way they see it. The government of the day seem to be sitting on the fence and watching. The executive is watching, and those things are happening in public glare. All we do is condemn and condemn, but at the end of the day, these things, come down the throat of the Liberian people. It's becoming difficult to swallow in a very serious, instance of such. You think the speaker, the deputy speaker, and those so-called majority representatives who are supporting the regime will allow this fight to be an easy fight? Because once their mind are made up, I'm sure it's going to go, and all we would do is to criticize it, and I'm not sure they're going to give us the listening ears.
Yeah, so before I answer to that, because like I said, I work a different setting for a long time. So the host is the entity that I work for, or the organization that I work, the experience that I have. The host is the bull, and what usually happens is when there's a controversy, or any dilemma in discussion or in agreement, then that means the bull don't have the control over it. Now it gets to be the people's problem. It gets to be the general body, the general assembly to decide. So it's not the same thing with the House. So because when something like what you're saying about the the deputy speaker, and other colleagues that just feel that they're majority, and then they just bring in just teaming up, and because they feel that they're majority, they just bring in passing bill or bringing about ideas that or ideology that other people will just be limited because they are in minority. I thought when something becomes really really controversial, I thought it's something now that it's more than just the House to take care of that. Tell me about it. Tell me a little bit about how it happens in the House. I know you're not in the House, but that's what, to my knowledge, I think. So how is it? How's the people just finding it so lucky and just just finding it easy to actually win with that? When other people are not in agreement, and when there's a lot of dilemmas in it, like no, other people say no, other people say yes, and other people say I'm in between, or I esteem I'm not voting, or I'm not in agreement. So how is that not controversial that for people to still say, oh, we are in majority, it passed? Well, that's my concern. First of all, before I speak to this, tell me a little bit about that.
I think Vic, the situation here is a catch-22 situation, and the reason why it is difficult for people to really understand it. The House work in majority, and that is the strength of those who make the decision. You could be a representative, and, but you found yourself in a minority, and the way they do the voting, who all in favor say yay, nay, those kind of style of voting, you know, having helped our country because the record as with the Liberian Senate, I'm sure now they are signing, the roster in terms of vote. So every issue in the Senate being told down, they affix the signature as to who's voting and who's not voting. So it's easier to find out, those who are against and those who support a particular bill within the House of Representatives. I mean, the Liberian Senate. For the House of Representatives, where the Speaker is the first among equals, and he carries a group of lawmakers that support him, and they are supporters of the government of the day. It becomes very easy for those instruments to pass because they are in the majority. And the minority that include Honorable Belity, Honorable Kofa, Honorable Josiah Mervyn Cole, and others will just be on the floor. They could talk in the loudest tone. But once the clique of lawmakers, that support the government, the executive, agree, you could talk all of the talk at that point, but they are in the majority. And that is where it is becoming difficult for those with the minority voice to overcome those with the majority voice because it is a vote taking process and it is just done who are against yeah, who are in favor yeah, who are against nay. So those kind of style and that portion of division that is existing is becoming difficult for those strong voices, no matter how they talk about it, how they raise the issue. Once the guys in the majority agrees, it becomes an instrument that goes to the Liberian Senate, and that is why it's affecting the country as we speak.
And Mr. Toby, thank you so much for that clarity. I got an idea, but the thing is, this is how I see these people, these Kalis. They are bullies. They are a bunch of bullies. And Deputy Speaker, let me talk about him a little bit. Actually, he coming up, and what it did was to try the Unity Party, because sometimes I just refer to them as Unity Party instead of the government. Their propaganda is so just bad and cruel. It's really, really cruel. The Deputy Speaker was not a Unity partisan. He was from the CDC. So what it did was to try the hardest to bring him on board, to have him join the bodies group. So it would just make things hard for the House. That's what I see here. And with that, I don't see that these people are representing the Liberian people. They are not representing the Liberian people because each one of them came from a county or district. And then these people are the ones that are crying that don't want this. They don't want more lawmakers. They want food on the tables. And they are sitting there, they saying that they will do it. They are in majority, and because they are in majority wants to do it, not thinking about what the people are crying about or what the Liberian people need. That is a problem. That is a big problem. It's just a bunch of bodies in a house just sitting there and doing their own thing. Like, yeah, we are more than them. They are a minority. And then when even if there's an equilibrium where maybe there's the people that are actually going for actually representing the people and do bunch of bodies, even if it's equal, guess who the tiebreaker here? The tiebreaker comes from the executive. So it's a painful thing that they are not thinking about. They should think about the Liberian people together. They're not thinking about that. They're thinking about who has the more power, who is weighing one side. I mean, who is in majority. That's what they're voting upon. They're voting upon, oh, my man, vote for the one. Now, my man, think about the Liberian people. The Liberian people don't want this. They're not thinking about that. And that is so sad for the Liberian people. So, again, I go back to the Liberian people. Coming elections, these people in the house, please choose them wisely. They don't care about you. They don't care about your needs. They don't care about what you want. It's all about them. It's all about bishop, bunch of bishop and bullies go together and make themselves and put themselves in majority to suffocate you, to suffer the Liberian people. So they are not for you. They are in the house, but they are not representing you, because if they do, everything that is going on with the hardship, everything that you're crying about, it will matter to them, but it does not. That's how I see the whole thing. So with our fight, our advocacy, I don't know how is that going to help. And those are people we cannot even appeal to them and beg them and say, please, for the sake of the Liberian people, the bill, hold on to the bill. The bill shouldn't be passed. That's not the important thing right now. I wish we could do that, because they're not listening. So it's just so unfortunate for me. I would say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dangwe. Let me have a final take on this, then we'll come to our second talking point. It's going very well. Thanks for the strong contribution inputs we are making to this subject matter. We have to take a longer time on this, because indeed it is about the Liberian people, but the majority seem to be cutting the shots. The House of Representatives, that majority bloc, their action brought the country to a temporary standstill during the impasse. You remember that very well. It was a group of representatives that decided that they were no longer interested in working along with Honorable J. Fonati Kofa, and because they were in the majority, they trashed their own rules, they trashed the Constitution, and they became a lord unto themselves. They introduced their own style of operation, and at the end of the day, it became a situation that led to the removal of the former speaker. So that same majority still exists. The minority that include Honorable Ability, Josiah Mervyn Cole, Honorable Cole, Honorable Kofa, and others will have their say, but the majority will have their way. So the majority passed a resolution to apportion constituencies, assuming power they do not have, a total violation of Article 80E. If you read it, it will tell you is the controlling legal authority. So there is a legal portion that is reflected in Article 80E, that talk about the legality. But again, they close their eye on that, and they've taken onto themselves an authority that doesn't belong to them. This is a situation of the majority. The minority will have the say, but the majority will have the will. And that is where we are.
Yeah, that's right. Mr. Toby, you remember the current speaker in the heat of this fight to remove the former speaker when he went to Nukutan and declared that they needed their own regime speaker. Well, this is what he was talking about. They needed a speaker who will lead, whatever they wanted, whether legally or illegally. And so far, since he came on board, pretty much everything he's done has been done illegally. But this is what he meant. And they have the acquiescence of the executive, if not even the support, the overt backing of the executive. I mean, the president is in support of what they're doing. And what he may not understand is and this is tarnishing, his legacy. He has a legacy to care about, but his rule is riddled with illegality, from the illegal removal of tenure government officials, illegal removal of the Speaker of the House of Representatives against the express ruling of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia. You understand me? Got the justice minister to come and misinterpret the ruling of the Supreme Court, and based on that, he removed the Speaker of the House of Representatives. And so when you open up the floodgate, this is what you get. But Musa Ability is not sleeping on the watch. He knows to get anything done in the House, you have to build consensus. And so he's working on that. He's putting together, the coalition of the willing. What is the law? The rule of law caucus. But you're right. So far, the so-called 43, the so-called majority, they seem to be having their way. Whatever they want happens. I mean, this recent budget that is being profiled, I think Kong got over $400,000 increment, in his office budget. These are the things that they were looking for. And so somebody has to tell them, and I hope, the few good ones will join Honorable Musa Asambelete. I'm a little bit concerned with my legislator, Austin Taylor. He's a young man. I sat with me. He's a very, very nice young man, very ambitious. He's a very nice and humble young man, but I think he needs help, because he's vacillating. He was with the 43, and then he wasn't. It ended up he was with the 43, and now here we are joining the UP, and the UP is orchestrating an illegal plan that he is a part of, by commission. He is a part of the train, the rescue train. The rescue train now is trying to bring in 14 additional, people into the house. At least he's on record. But what did he expect? This is why they co-opted him. This is what they wanted to do. So, he needs to decide where he wants to stand. He's on record now saying he doesn't want an expansion of the seat in the House of Representatives. But we need people like him who will finally realize, that it's not too wrong to right whatever wrong you may have committed and fix it. And I hope he will join Musa Ability and the rest of those who are going to oppose this wreckage of a rescue train and stop them. These people are ruining the country. They've been there 2 years. They don't know what they're doing, and the sad thing is they think they're doing well. You should have listened to that on Saturday. You would think manna was falling from the sky. The way these people were talking and acting, it's really sad. It's really sad. When I was young, you guys, we had a student companion. There was an expression in there. He who knows and knows not that he knows is a wise man. But he who doesn't know and knows not that he doesn't know, is a fool. And they're acting like they don't know that they are not succeeding. They're failing miserably. It's not late to turn things around, but they have to realize, the error of their ways first. The self-realization will lead to actualization. They have to realize they're going in the wrong direction, and they have to turn around. Even if they were there for one term, which many of us believe now, they don't seem to care about re-election. Right now, they're just grabbing whatever they can because they know they will not be re-elected. But notwithstanding, there are over 5 million people who depend on the decision that these people are making, and the people are really suffering. Women breaking rocks to send their children to school. Are they happy with that? They have to be unhappy. And the few good ones who are there, they need to wake up. They need to wake up because they will live after this government.
All right. Thank you. Thanks to the both of you. So Dr. Nyan had to slip off the set, but again, with the combination of Vic and Mr. Nambi, we will do justice to the various talking point here. For all of you watching us, including Mohammed Bari, who says he's watching live from Douala. Of course, we want to say thanks for joining. Pata, can't get the last name, but you said you're watching live from Jacobtown in Painesville. Let me try to recognize some of you. Voices of La Walazu, somewhere there in Lofa. It says the Liberian politician, both in and out of power, lacks credibility and integrity, and criminals. They need no defense. Voice of La Walazu is in Lofa. Jonathan K. Ballard is watching. He's following from Columbus, Ohio, the United States. He says, keep it up, guys. We are getting there gradually by His grace. Thanks, Jonathan. Yusuf M. Jalad is following us from Dole community in District 14. In Moserado County, Binta Belity is also watching. She says CMC all the way. Ayuba Fofanam says CMC next president. Alex Actopay is watching from the United States of Painesville, Red Light. So he says, Orita Jones is here. She's watching from Secretary in Lima County. I read her text earlier. Honorable Musa Development, Belete Pekin says here, thanks to the team for the job well done. And all of you joining us, we want to say thanks and let's continue to share the show. Let's keep it up. Someone says, yes, Smith, can you please update us on the project in Bond County? Yes, we can say the project in Bond County is well on course. I know the last time we talked about it, that's Karumun Siako is asking that question. Bond County, the project is still on course. I'm sure you are aware that your materials are staying in the county. The rest of the materials are being mobilized. What is a little stored in that project is the excavator that is being provide some maintenance work. And my latest information on that is that the technical guys are about completing the maintenance of the excavator because he's been doing some work in Lofa, he's been doing some work in a certain bridge location and certain project sites. So it was being maintained and doing some routine maintenance. We almost done with that. And upon the completion, the excavator will be moving into Banga, Bond County, where they will now start the project as planned by the CMC. So that project is still alive, it's still on course. There's nothing wrong with the project. It's just a matter now of making sure it commences. Our engineers has been there and back. They've done all of the necessary work leading to the commencement of that project. So just to speak to that for you, that is where we are with the Bond County project. Let's switch to another talking point, and for me, this is concerning because sometimes it's difficult to know who are the real advocates in the politics of our country. If you've been following the Liberian politics in the last 6 years, every December was a time for opposition to protest. And we experienced that under the Weird administration. There were several protest action planned in the month of December. Whether it was few days to Christmas, it was in the Christmas week, or it was a week to Christmas, but it was something, that was threatening the peace or threatening the peaceful existence of Liberians. But it was difficult to hear civil society people ask the organizers to stop. There's concern about the Liberia Council of Churches. I don't know whether it is a political group now or they are staying in the civil society advocates group. But there's this protest pending for the month of December under this administration. And they've been calling on the organizers of the protest to cancel their protest, something that they did not do under the Weird administration. They did not see it fit as a means of telling Liberians to allow Christmas holiday to be a peaceful assembly. But the Liberia Council of Churches has now put herself almost like a political actors. I want to start with you, Mr. Nangbe, so that they can digest some of your points, and then I'm sure her response will be in line with what I want to hear from you. You've been reading more about the Liberia Council of Churches. They are no longer condemning. They are no longer in the advocacy of wanting a peaceful environment. They are almost like a pseudo political organization. They are even in the business of giving political parties actors certificate or the war at the end of the year. Something very strange. And I'm sure you know more about the Liberia Council of Churches. How do you see them? How are they performing in our space at this current moment?
The current breed of current crop of officers at the Council of Churches are a letdown, a disappointment. Um, I remember back in the day, um, when you took away the political opposition, there was the tripartite of the students' union, you know, the Council of Churches, and the diaspora. Whenever Yola spoke, whenever the Council of Churches of Sheikh Kafuma Kone, Michael Bakala Francis, George D. Brown. When those people spoke, the government listened. The current president, Sam, he's my classmate from Tubman High School, and I know Dr. Reese very well. He's a well-meaning man, but I think he has lost his way. I think the whole Council of Churches right now has lost his way. He and the council have been fighting. I haven't really talked to him in a while, so I don't know where he stands right now, whether he is with the council or he's just trying to retain his presidency, because I think he himself is overstretched. He's council of church president, he's president of the Baptist Convention, he's president of the University in Basel. That's just way too much for one person to be doing. But that's not about him. It's about the current council of churches. The council of churches right now, almost all of them are on some kind of board or something. They're almost all of them are on boards serving this government, and that's why they're praise singers. There is nothing wrong with serving your government. I have to always say this: the government of the Republic of Liberia belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to the ruling party. You can serve your government, and yet you can be yourself, and you can be a righteous person and defend what is right. There's nothing wrong with that. If it means you have to lose your job, I understand that. People have to make a living. I respect that. But what is it to earn $1 and lose your soul? You can't sleep at night. Your reputation. What is it worth to you? So the current council of churches, they're supposed to be to help be the voice of conscience. Most of these religious leaders, people waited to listen to what they would say on Sundays. They go on the pulpit, and yes, Cotto Brown every now and then, he would leave the reservation and challenge this government, but he needs help. He needs help from the entire council of churches. I think the current council of churches is a disgrace. I think they just in the pocket of this government. They're praise singers. They do nothing. I don't remember a time when they challenged this government. Yes, I think it was Dr. Reeves, who I think voiced out on the purchase of this $1 million vehicle, whatever it is. They made him to apologize. They reversed and they disown the statement that he made. And then he himself, I believe, I hope I think I'm getting it right, I'm sure. He himself, he abandoned his own position and joined this council of churches. A lot of people depend on the prelates. They represent, the conscience of society. These are the people who they are the mediator between, the ordinary person and God. They're supposed to be the people who speak the truth as they see it. But I think they're compromised. Almost all of them are serving on some board or other. And because of that, they've lost their voice. All of them. And it's a shame. It is a shame. They need to wake up, because yesterday they may be making a little $2 or so. But tomorrow, how do they defend what they're doing right now? They have vacated their responsibility. They're supposed to be the conscience of society. They're supposed to say what is right and what is wrong. And a lot of things are wrong today in society, and they're not speaking out. It is a letdown.
Okay, so Vic, let me allow you how to say, because if protests was something good during the weird administration in December, why is the Council of Churches seeing it as a bad omen under the Bwaka's administration in December? If they supported protests in December under the Weir's administration, why is it now a bad thing to see happen under the Bwaka's administration? And, especially in December, when others were staging protests in the same December and calling on the government to improve the lives of the Liberian people, to provide the basic need of the Liberian people, talking about a very important issue. Why is it now a bad thing to talk about in December? And why should people not protest in December?
Again, two things could be, contributing to that. It could be because of the current government, the policing, issue that been going on. Um, it could be that they are afraid for our Liberian people to be hurt because the police of this government or regime has been doing little too much with hurting people, being violent. They are not working for the Liberian people. They are working for UP, and it could be one reason or something that could be contributing towards that. That the council is afraid that people get hurt because for George we had time maybe there, I mean not maybe there was freedom of speech, there was democracy, the people could express themselves freely, but maybe for this government is a body government, is a government that the police are doing too much. The policing is too much in Liberia. And then another thing could be like Mr. Lambe said, they've been compromised. That is a key thing of a key propaganda of the Unity Party. All of these people have been compromised. But then if they have been compromised, I would say that they are doing it to themselves because it takes Liberian men to believe in you and trust you. So if you're gonna let like few data or I think it chicken change or peanut change, actually make you to lose the confidence that Liberian people have in you, the stand that you are taking for Liberian people, the dignity, the respect. If you will be compromised to let that go for few change, I mean, then who you are. So the only thing I can say about that is I think it's about time that the Liberian people shouldn't depend on any council or entity. If they want to march, they should march, they should move. And I really think that the whole idea, about that being control is, to narrow it down, to keep it, organized so that anybody cannot just get in the street and demonstrate and get hurt. And then who gonna be held responsible? But the people that are supposed to be doing it are actually assured that people that we are fair, we are neutral, we can help you with this. Let's do it this way. If they have been compromised, they just telling Liberian people that we are not with you again. I mean, I'm so disappointed as well, and I feel that I'm not disappointed in the entire Liberia that is disappointed in that council. So I think that Liberian people should start thinking about taking stand on their own. They should start taking their own stand because the lead have been compromised. That's what I would say, which is not a
Okay.
good thing.
Thank you, Vic. But let me come back to you, Mr. Nangbe, because Vic raised a very serious point that I hope you can pick up from. To raise the issue of security, the state security in recent time, they look very lawless. They have been very brutal, against the citizens. We saw their action against disabled people who were celebrating, a day set aside to honor them. We saw a brutal response when they were just asking for transportation to get them back to the various destination. The response of the police was brutal. We've seen police respond to several places, and those responses have been very harsh. Tear gas, canister has been fired. People have been beaten upon. This heavy-handedness of the police seem to be something that will also need to take into consideration. During the festive season, to have a group of Liberians wanting to call on the executive uh, to the suffering of the Liberian people in December, the venue should be at the executive mansion, which of course I think would not be accessible to them. But again, to avoid the police action, is that an appropriate request in disguise from the Liberia Council of Churches, or you think the violation and the police action should be ignored, and that we should allow the protests, the protesters, the planners to go ahead to exercise. Again, it is the constitutional right. But if you see the way the police in recent times have responded to simple issues, it's also something to think about.
Something to think about. I agree, but occupational hazard. This comes with the territory, and I have to say, look, with all that is going on, this is piece of cake compared to what we had to brave. I'm not saying anybody should put their life and limb at risk, but notwithstanding, what this government is doing is moving against the little people. I've never seen them move in a church or move in. The president. The council of churches can issue a press statement. They can also deliver their messages from the pulpit on Sundays. They can, there's a lot of ways they can engage the issue. The silence, for instance, on the removal of the speaker, I thought that was a disappointment. They could have said something, they could have done something, they did nothing. And on many other issues. So yeah, I understand the concern that Vig is expressing, but that threat has always been there, unfortunately. But I have to say, today, the level of threat that our opposition people are confronted with, I think is one that does not prohibit expressing how you feel about this government. I mean, people have come out in the streets on this against this government on numerous occasions. Malu and others have done it, and I think other people have done so. So I think there's precedent there with this government. I think that people should brave it. If it means if people may get incarcerated, yeah, I mean that is then we highlight that. But I think the greater danger is leaving it unchecked. I think that's where the greater danger is. I'm not discounting the possible danger to limb them, life. People come by in the street, that danger is there. But I think the danger of not confronting it, I think is much, much, much graver. You're talking about taking money out of the pocket of our people, because this is what this amounts to. Especially, for instance, these additional 14 people, you just did a math just now, 2 point something million dollars, per annum. Multiply that by 6, because these people, is it 6 or 9, whatever it is, even if it is 4 years, that money is coming out of your pocket, it's coming out of my pocket, it's coming out of my couple's pocket, the little who's crushing the rocks to make a living. This is what this is. They're literally putting their hands in people's pockets and taking their money. That's what these so-called honorable people are doing. These so-called honorable people are doing. They're putting their hands in your pocket and taking your money while you're awake, not even while you sleep. That's how you should regard what they're doing. The money they're using, it doesn't belong to them. It doesn't. This is not this. The money doesn't belong to them. This is money that should be coming to you to pay your medical bills, to send your kids to school, to have a decent meal, to have running water, to have electricity. This is money that should be coming to you. So you should challenge them and tell them to stop it. And they will not stop until you stand up to them. Everyone knows a bully. If you don't stand up to a bully, they will continue to bully you until you stand up to them. You got to confront them. And so our people need to get up. They need to sharpen their contradictions and sharpen their voices and confront these people. There are a lot of options available to them. They can go and occupy the Capitol building. They can sit in and block the entrance to the Capitol building. They can do that. There's a lot of options available to these people. They need to get up. Nobody's going to do it for them. They have to do it themselves. Our people need to rise up. They need to wake up.
Okay. Thanks to the both of you. I got just one final topic that we're going to close up with tonight, and we're going to go to the news again. We are old enough as a country to be celebrating it, but it's like that's where we find ourselves with all of our resources: the gold, the diamond, the timber, the river, the rain, the sunshine. Other countries around the world are in dire need of things that Liberia carries in terms of God's blessing. Our resources are being mismanaged from time immemorial, and we've put ourselves in a begging position. So we are going out there, our government of today, yesterday, and the day before, We've gotten accustomed to going out and asking others to send us the taxpayers' money to develop our country. And those taxpayers' monies haven't done us any good. As the result, we are a begging nation. When others should be coming here and we should be giving to people around the world because we are so blessed. We are so blessed, but we are being mismanaged by our leaders. We've been mismanaged by all of our presidents. Liberia, 27 or 28 president, now 27 president. Only one president Liberians talked about in age past, maybe Totman. And the rest of them has been so corrupt in everything. They've mismanaged our resources, they're giving it out for little or nothing. And we're giving people our concession, we're giving people our resources out of nothing. And we are celebrating them giving us aid. By tomorrow morning, Liberians will wake up to another headlines of celebration from this government that is asking for time. President Barker just said a few days ago, Liberians should give him more time. We just got handout from the United States on health. We should be giving people health handout because of the resources we carry in our country. Tomorrow morning, you'll hear more about the MCC compacts, the Millennium Challenge compacts, that we are now hearing that the government, through the board of the MCC, Challenge Corporation, met today in Washington, D.C., and they formally confirmed Liberia as eligible for a second MCC compact. And trust me, this is going to be a conversation that will take us to the weekend because the government is not going to take this lightly. They celebrate just everything. We are just people who are begging and celebrating little or nothing. By even hearing that we've been qualified for a second compact, how do you see it? Again, Vega, I want to start with you on this because it pains a very patriotic Liberian to be celebrating handout when the countries of the world no longer run on handout. The Ghanaians, our friends in Rwanda, the people in other places where they are taking our resources and creating job for their people, and we are languishing here. Our youth are unemployed. Our society is so chaotic in terms of stress. People are angry because they look around and see nothing to do at the end of the day. So everything pains their heart. But we are celebrating handouts. We are celebrating donation. We are celebrating aid. How do you see it, Vic?
Again, thank you so much, Mr. Toby. The thing is, when people are so content, dealing with content people, in other words, people are just happy with the life with little things, and dealing with them when you ambitious is one of the frustration I ever seen in life. Our Liberian people are so content. Our government is so content. When you actually look at that celebration, the UP are the ones celebrating. They are the one always celebrating. So you cannot be content and lobby for more. The Burkina Faso president, Abraham, I know that a lot of people have some dirty mind about him, like they don't like how he came to office and yada, 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 yada. But look at what that kid is doing for Burkina Faso. When you certify with little effort, little small thing, there is no way you can have a developed mind to actually, focus on being self-sufficient, to focus on your own worth. Because every little thing from outside, it make you happy. The people are not ambitious. So they will always celebrate little things that they are not thinking that it's even a shame to look up as a whole country, to always look up for aid. They are just so used to doing the war, or the excuse about the war came and do this, so we always have to seek aid. They are so used to it, and they are not even realizing that thing stopped. It stopped at Eddie's regime or administration. They are not thinking that way. The reason why they are not thinking about what to do to enrich Liberia in Liberia is because they are so content and they look so much forward or up to other nationality or other developing country to help them out. So if they are celebrating little things like this, it might not be little things. First of all, I don't know what the celebration is about, because these aids or help is not even going to help the Liberian people. Everything that happens, these people take it for themselves. It doesn't go across Liberia. So that's why they are the ones celebrating that, because we were just hear the news, but at the end of the day, by next year or the middle of next year, JFK is still going to be JFK. All the hospital in Liberia or little clinics still going to be in the same position. All the health issue or problem that Liberia always have is still going to be the same. So just the news is for us to hear the news that U.S. government is donating this. So I don't know what is celebration. If they continue, or we continue to celebrate other people for giving our aid, how do you think we ever going to think about enriching ourselves? We're never going to do that. So with that celebration, I find it meaningless, because what they are celebrating is not even going to impact the Liberian people anyway. They're going to manipulate every system again, and at the end of the day, nobody's going to hear about that story. What happened to the aid? Thank you.
Mr. Nambe, I think it's a very strong point Vic raised. What happened to the aid? We receive aid year in, year out, and we still remain the same. What impact has it made to a country that is as rich as any country in the world, but is being mismanaged by its leaders? The leaders of our country haven't done justice to this country. Good resource base, but we are depending on others out there to help build our economy, to give us aid for health, aid for school, aid for our army, aid for our government, aid to our budget, aid to rice. Even the Japanese are giving us rice, and the Chinese are giving us rice. So how do we exist as a nation? What have become of our management? What have become of our leadership? What are we celebrating other people's resources? What are we celebrating then giving us the leftover? And when you collect plenty money and you're looking for a way to spend it, and we're still going out there and begging people, and we receive those handouts as celebration to a country. And those many aids we receive in generation upon generation, it's not visible in terms of development. And today, MCC Compass, tomorrow, American government gave 1.24 million or 24 million for this one. It's for health. It's going to go into the health sector. The impact will not be felt. People, so there's a whole lot of different things here. And we see government come and government celebrate it. What are we celebrating?
Yeah. Vic makes a good point. I think the problem we have is it's not lack of resources. It's a judicious management of whatever resources we have. Like you're saying, it's like they say, the food is thirsty in the middle of the river. We have so much. If we harness our resources, and spend our resources wisely, we have, but we have a draw bucket situation, a sifter, a strainer, you put it in, it falls out. And so the solution needs to begin with patching these holes, the waste, the fraud, the abuse. As long as we don't take care of all these trades we're making everywhere, we're not going to do nothing. First of all, the people we're going to beg, because that's what it is. We're begging everybody, and they give us whatever is scrap. Look at the buses they brought, junkyard. They're breaking down already. So we go to beg these people. Newsflash: these people do their due diligence. They research your country. They see how much is going to waste, fraud, and abuse. The same information we're getting, they're getting better information. They know how you spend your money. They know you're not a serious-minded person. It's been 2 years now since we've been begging. Yeah, 124 million, whatever it is. That 124 million that is not a gift. These people, there's something they saw us do with Ebola, with coronavirus, and they want to improve on how we fought this disease, because now this is the global community where you get up this morning, you get on the flight, before you know it, you're in China or you're in Australia. So they're trying to make sure they have it saying here, fight it over there before it comes over here. They want to make sure to stop the disease in its tracks where it originates before it comes here to the States. Unfortunately, we all remember Patrick O'Sawyer, that unfortunate, I think his patient was 001 or so, went to Ghana and Nigeria, and may God bless his soul. And then there was another gentleman who came in. So these instances, they're trying to fight the disease where it occurs. So the money they're giving us to strengthen our health system, this is to expand on our speedy disease, tracking system. There's something we've done they want to learn from us. That's why we're getting this money. It's not based on anything. So yeah, we're celebrating the MCC. We've been celebrating the MCC over 2 years now. Maybe this time they're going to get it, but how are they going to spend the money? That is the question. And so yes, we can get all the money we want, even though we're not even getting it. But if we were to get it, we have to commit ourselves to judiciously manage the money. We got to tighten our belts, and it starts with the leadership. The president has to lead on this. He has not led at all on this fight against corruption. You suspend people and that's it. You suspend people. Well, what about the prosecution? What about restoration of the loot? If you begin to do that, the message is going to get out there. And when you steal it, you're not going to keep it. But most of these people know you steal it, you get fired, you already banked it, you move on, you go and live off, a sunny beach somewhere. They're not going to do nothing to you. That is the message that's going out there, Mr. President. Maybe you don't know that. They figure you out. You're not going to do nothing. The most you can do is suspend them. Look how long it took him to suspend this guy from Telecom, Abdullah Kamara, whatever his name is, over a year. After he suspended Ewina Zangwa and the rest of them for the same audit in which he was implicated, but he made him officer in charge for another year. After he had eaten and gotten his fill, then he finally got to suspend him. Suspended the guy from LRRC. Suspend. Where is the prosecution? LACC is going beyond Fanda Bondo and with taxi cap. That's where they're going to get $10 million for that they put in the budget. It's a joke. It is a joke. It's laughable, but it is not a laughing matter because lives are actually at stake for these mistakes that these people are making. Whether they're a mistake or these are intentional, judgment calls they're making. They have to know that people's lives are at stake. This is a life and death for many people, and people are really suffering. We all go to Liberia. We see how people are all in the street. Mothers are begging. I see mothers walking all the way from Nukutown, all the way in Broad Street, all the way in Cinco, begging for $5. Why? And you see that you're going to charter a private jet to fly where? Do you have eyes to see? Are you tone deaf? Look at what this little boy is doing with Burkina Faso. That's what a serious leader is supposed to do. That is what a serious leader is supposed to do. Identify the resources, plug the holes, tighten the belt, dig your heels in, and make progress. It can be done. But we're not serious. We don't have the leadership to lead on it. So we're hoping the CMC is going to come and change the trajectory, come and change the dynamics, come and change the way things are done, And so join the movement. If you're out there, you haven't signed up with us here, come and help us. We always say we don't have all the answers. We don't know it all. We're still trying to figure it out. But we think we have a good thing going. With your help, we can do it.
Thank you. Thank you. Those were very strong comments. Your contribution seemed to be very rewarding every time. Let me come back to you, Vic, because taking the lead should be something from the president. And when you heard Mr. Langwe talk about the president is not taking the lead, there are too many loopholes. We found ourselves in the sifter kind of a situation. We're taking it, but it's wasting. We got a lot of waste in government. We need to tighten our belt as a government. We've been blessed to have a president that have served in government for many years before becoming president. So the experience, as is often said, ain't no count. But the manner in which this experience that Liberians talked about, that the rescue government talked about, is being exhibited, the leadership that is being provided for the country is on the contrary to experience. And to still see us in the stage we are as a country in the 21st century with all of our resources, and we still have a management issue. Corruption is still at its peak. Our justice system is questionable. Our constitutional issues are being overlooked. People are becoming Lord and gospel unto themselves. And there sit a president, that comes with a lot of experience. What is going wrong?
Everything that we said in the past about the president is what is happening now. So at times, a lot of things are happening with Liberia and Joseph Yuma Boakai, President Yuma Boakai, is something that we vision that was going to happen. Let's talk about experience. You said something about experience, and I will be very brief. For the 2 years of governmental experience, or being the government, working in the government, and even as 12 years for vice president, the person that's supposed to be that is next to the president. All we could hear Liberian people say about Joseph Yuma Boakai that for the 2 years that he had experience, that he was even that he served as VP, he never did a thing for himself. Everything starts with self. That's what the Liberian people were saying. That Joseph Yuma Boakai didn't do anything for himself. He didn't do anything for his county. He didn't do anything for his people. And so Joseph Yuma Boakai was actually coming into power, was fighting so hard to come into power to correct every mistake that Liberian people said that he made. He came to replace everything that he didn't have the chance to do, that he was mocked with. So this is the reason why it's so important to him to do what he's doing right now. He's not looking out of the windows. What important to him is what Liberian people say he wasn't, is what he wants to do right now, which is, empower himself, empower his county, appoint a bunch of people from Lofa to be in government. That's it. He's not a visionary. He's not visualizing anything that, if we do this, Liberia would be better. It's not about the Liberian people for Joseph Boakai. He actually came, Liberian people say, to pay debt, to actually prove Liberian people wrong, that he can be in power and he can empower himself in everything. That's what I see. Mr. Langwe said something about the plan behind the funding, the recent funding. You and I know American men plan ahead. There was time that there was Ebola, there was COVID, and it affected. Liberia was one of the country that it affected. And these people, they plan ahead. So I would call it infection control plan. Liberia, they're having to fall on one of the infection control plan that, this country has been affected before. And what's affected this country will also affect us. So instead of we say that it happens, let us plan ahead. Let's give them this funding for infection control. something that will be in the making, for better health care, so that what happened in the past cannot happen again. During the Ebola time, there was a guy that traveled to the U.S. He came on an immigrant. He came here with Ebola, and it was not easy. There was a shutdown in the whole of Texas. The whole state shut down with Ebola. And then during the COVID time too, when people used to come, they were being quarantined for 10 days somewhere, and the American government were paying for that. You think the people would sit again and want that to happen? This time around, they had decided to plan ahead. And this happened to fall on one of the infection control. That's the reason why Liberia is giving these forms. But guess what? What they're going to do with it? Are they actually going to pay attention to? Do they even know what the form was given? Are they going to fight with infection control? Are they going to have good health system? Are they going to carry a message out there, or pay people to carry a message out there, how to protect, are they going to be careful about border crossing or immigration, how people come in, in screening? Are they going to do screening when people come from maybe other part of the country, the Ghana, like Sierra Leone, Guinea? Are they going to do screening to see if are they going to take them somewhere to do the screening and do testing on them, so that the same thing that happened before, it will not happen? This is what the American government is looking up to them doing, infection control plan. But is it going to happen? Happen. Is this going to happen? No. It's not going to happen. That's what makes it sad. So when you say the president is supposed to start from up there, that's not his concern. They're making on a mission. He said it was a rescue mission, but he came to rescue himself because of what, like the people say about him. And that's what he after. That's why things are the way they are. So again, they can celebrate the money, but we look forward to how this money going to be used in the health sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vic. We are closing in with time now. We got 8 more minutes to be here. So let me come back to you, Mr. Nangbe. Let's talk about this experience that we all heard about, and that we are yet to see being manifested in our leadership. If you follow the track record of the president, and Vic raised a very serious point, that everything the president owns right now, in terms of his change of life, his lifestyle, the luxury that come around him, the environment he lived, all of those things came along with the presidency. I remember where the president lived currently. He lived there when he was vice president. He had the opportunity to paint that building. He had the opportunity to fix the drainage around that compound that is now being refurbished. But all of those things weren't done. In fact, where he lived currently when he was vice president, it was a parking lot for the community when he was the vice president. Was it not possible under his watch as an experienced stick actor to make sure that his environment was kept clean, his drainage system was working, his fence were being reinforced? Could those things not happen as vice president? Was it only possible to happen when he became president? And with that level of experience, was it not equally possible that the experience will now begin to show in the leadership? Liberians are questioning his experience. You saw market women today on the social media talking how they are now becoming frustrated in the experience that they heard about. How do you feel when people express their frustration in a manner in which it is now being expressed?
I think the people have run out of patience. I think they generally give this government the benefit of the doubt, but they have lives to live too. They can't keep holding on to their lives and hoping things will get better for 2 years now. And so yes, The frustration is boiling over now, and I believe they're gotten to a point where they cannot contain the frustration anymore, and they're going to voice it is going to happen, you know. And yeah, Vicky made a good point. This president, look, um, experience matters a lot, and that's why it weighs very heavily when you go for a job interview. They want to know what you've done, whether you've done this before, because when you hit the snag, when you hit the wall, you almost always call on your experience. What did I do? How can I do? And so there is a good reason for experience. Now, this president has had a lot of government experience. He's been from the director level to the ministerial level to the vice president level. He's been in government forever. You would think that he knows, you know, where the bodies are buried, so to speak, and just dig them out. The bodies being the problems, and address these. But that is the $64 million question that is confronting us. Many of us really, really puzzled. You know, I listened to someone saying the other time that yeah, the president, the people he surrounds himself with, but it should be the other way around. The president is supposed to lead the people surrounding him, not the other way around. But it looks like the people around him are leading him. He came in with a lot of experience, but I don't think he's brought it to bear. Where are his friends? This president was vice president for 12 years. Where are his friends in the international community? Who is that one friend he can call on and say, you know what, look, I need this? And so I don't think he has any. George Weah had his friends. I mean, they were, whether we believe it or not, but they were throwing private jets at him. He had
He's not a friend, and they're not trying to a friend speak good English.
They go English, right? Well, your friend is your friend. A friend in need, they say, is a friend indeed, right? And when you're in need, you know. So it came in, and what we are seeing is not bearing, is not supporting the experience that his government has had, the president has had. So he has, experientially, he's been around for a while. Chronologically, he's been around for a while. When you put these two together, wisdom is what we expect to come out of that. But he's making all these wild and sometimes questionable judgment calls. Look at his call on the removal of the speaker. I met with the president on the night, I think it was a Sunday, that Tuesday or so, when he had to come out and make the statement. He sounded to us like he was prepared to bring this thing to a close, meaning he was going to put out a solution that will leave the both sides satisfied. I was stunned. When he came out with the decision he did. And yeah, I mean, I saw the house. You're right. The house I met him in, you can tell that there's a lot that has been built around that house. You can tell, when the house is being expanded, you can see the nucleus and then all the other additions. So why he didn't do it when he was vice president, I don't know, Mr. Toby. But yeah, again, optics. Same thing this former president did. From President Weah came in less than 9 months. He was bringing down his residence on 9th Street, and remodeling, the optics of all of these, And so, yeah, this president, he came in with a lot of experience. That's one of the arguments he was making throughout the campaign. I've done this. I've been at this thing for a long time. I know how government works. I know how to solve problems. I know how to create jobs. I know how to do all of this. And he came in, 2 years now, he can't find his way. 2 years running, he can't find his way. And the sad thing is, they really believe they're doing well. And they're hearing the people in the streets saying, no, you're not doing well. Stop believing that. But yet they're going to go ahead and believe that, which is really, really, really frustrating, because it means they are nowhere near trying to identify solutions to these problems.
All right. Thank you. We are now caught up with time, so it's time for us to wrap up. I may come to Vic in a few seconds. So you close up.
I just want to at this time talk to the Liberian people that a lot of you actually voted the Unity Party or the rescue team because of what we were just talking about, experience. Even other big people in the government, other people from CDC, not CDC, from other political party, like the ANC, like they're from the Liberty Party, they endorse our current president because they felt, and then the reason they gave was because he was experienced. And a lot of other Liberians thought that George Weah was not experienced, was the issue with what was going on in Liberia. He was elected today by the Liberian people, and then you can just see what is going on. The cry from the people, especially mothers, market women, things are really, really hard. What we thought, the experience that you guys voted this man for, that he has experience, that he will explore, that to better off Liberia, it's not happening. You are seeing that it's not happening. They are pretending that things are getting good, but you and I know what in our house right now, what in our fridge, or what in our cover, our low on our table right now. We are appealing to you to please consider coming 2029, make a very good decision, a better decision. And guess what? It's not that hard. You are trying two people, George Weah came, and we thought that he was not the one. Joseph Boaga came, and now look at what is happening. The only way out is the CMC. The only way out here is the CMC. Please help us join the third lane. Join the third lane. Musa Hassan Belite is doing everything for the Liberian people. He's meeting the needs. He's going, assessing. He's listening to cry. He knows where the most help is needed. And he's actually implementing what the Liberian people want or needs. So please consider Musa Hassan Belite with the CMC. Look at what he's doing. He's everywhere. He's not waiting for election time. He was even doing that before he became representative. And he continued to do that. So please, I will ask this time that you guys please consider the CMC. Join CMC, like Mr. Lambert said. Look under his name. There's a website right there, www.cmclib.com. Join the CMC. This is a movement. Let's do this. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, and continue to share this show. Thank you.
Looks like
I hope Mr. Toby didn't get kicked out.
It looks like we lost him, but I think it's past our time. So,
Yeah.
Madam Chair, if you, I don't know.
Yeah, you can go. You can go ahead and just close.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, you done? Oh, you were
Yeah.
the first. Okay.
Yeah, I was the first. Yeah.
Okay, so now let me see if we can just play the outcome.
Thank you, Smitty, and thanks to our audience.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
Mr.
everyone.
Smith.
Yeah. Thank you too, Vicky.
Toby. Okay. It's not allowing me. I think it should come from them.
CMC for the people, by the people, and to the people. Citizens movement for change. Oh yes, a new day has come. Yes, a new day has come. Rise up, Liberia. CMC for the people. CMC by the people. Let us join our hands together to build a better Liberia. CMC, CMC for the people. CMC by the people. Let us join our hands together to build a better Liberia. Equity, national unity, transparency, accountability, social justice, integrity, CMC core values. CMC Global. It is a new day for Liberia. It is a new day for the people. Let's all together. Let's all together. It's a unity. It's a hand. CMC. The land of liberty, the land of freedom, the love of liberty brought us together. Let's hold together. by the beat. Let's hold together. It is the unity to build a better life. DMC, yes, the time has come.